Welcome back to CallsignWolf. As always, my name is Justin. Welcome to the Gray Zone Warfare Roundtable. My guests today are Juicebox Confessions and Sid the Sloth. I didn't do an intro while recording. I get weird talking like that around others, such as my wife and these two idiots included. I hope you enjoy the talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Be sure to also check me out on TikTok too.
What are your thoughts on the current variety of areas on the map, and what new modes would you like to be able to see added to Gray Zone?
I don't know about modes. I like the extraction how it is. I'd like to see different forms of LZs and stuff like that, just different ways to work in. Don't necessarily want to change any of the modes. But overall, I like the variety of the map. I wish there is a little bit more and hope to see more development over time with the company and the game.
Just what are your thoughts?
I would like to see more POIs added to the map that they have. Maybe dial back some of the mountains to give us a little bit more play area, or maybe just a couple more cities or towns. Like Sid had mentioned, there's that swampy area off to the left. They could put some sort of cypress camp, or I don't know, some sort of POI. But as for modes, I don't know about modes necessarily. I would like more survival to come in.
You're saying
Yeah,
like
you
more
had
of like
mentioned before that you want to be able to go out and camp overnight, be able to
Yeah,
make it
yeah,
out
yeah.
on
I'd
the
like
land.
if I choose to, go do an extended week session living out in the woods or something like that, I should be able to. I should be able to make little camps, nothing big, tent, little fire, couple of animals here and there to live off of, alligators and the just a little bit more of a living world. A little bit more like DayZ vibes, not the zombies, but the survival part.
you'd like to add in like a bivouac area and some light hunting, maybe like some small game hunting just to kind of help give
Yeah.
like that survival aspect. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like when I was thinking of modes, I was, a lot of people have been talking about like what they would like to be able to see added. And the one person said, like maybe do like an escort mission or, have some sort of community event, which is something that I'll be bringing up a little bit later on as well. But yeah, it just kind of got me wondering, like, what else could Madfinger bring to the table with the game? Like, maybe not have it as a tie-in directly, but like how Activision has with Call of Duty, you have different game modes like, search and destroy and so on and so forth. They also have zombies, and it's not necessarily a direct correlation between the two, but
The fun thing to do.
yeah, just a fun little addition to the game.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Dinosaurs,
Yeah.
I've always said would be cool. Just nothing too big, nothing too. Couple raptors,
yeah,
Just to be out in Jurassic Park, the map fits it so well.
The
Yeah, it
map
does.
fits it so well.
It really does.
That would be really cool. A zombie thing would be cool. Zombies might be a little played out.
Possibly.
I would like to see more development though of the Ground Zero.
Yes.
Let that shit
Yes.
start spreading.
Whatever it is that they have
Yep.
planned.
Yep. We have to go. You have to go grab the samples during the mission from Ground Zero. We don't know. I don't know what the results of it yet. I haven't even actually completed the mission, but let that start taking into effect.
Another good idea, like I was saying, I don't know if this fits here, maybe later, is the for community events. I think they're bringing resources. They said so. The
Yes.
downed helicopter, like one of your helicopters, you got a chance every one out of every five or something may go down, and it goes down into a neutral area, and you can either go back and get it back for your team. I mean, for your faction, or the other factions can get it for a boost in resources. I think that would be a really cool community event that is also a passive community event.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Have it like a situation of, like you said, like 1 in 5 or 1 in 10, even like 1 in 20, where it's a little bit more of a rare of an event, but by capturing those supplies or defending for X amount of time earns you those supplies as well. that might be a better economy for your faction or something of
Yeah.
that nature, right?
Yeah, if they're bringing in resources, so instead of having unlimited amount of M4A1s, they only have 1,000. So your helicopter goes down that's supposed to be bringing in your resources for that, that timed, resource that you get every 30 minutes, every hour, whatever it is that it refills, it went down. So your whole company, the whole faction could go out in theory and secure that and bring that back. But you'd also have the other people maybe not wanting to wait for theirs to come through. Like theirs is still on a ticker. They just got their resources, but they're already running low. Oh, well, this dude, Mithras helicopter went down. If we go out there and we get that, we get all of that loot. And then in 25 minutes, when our comes in, we have double the loot. And then for 30 minutes, we struggle until the next shipment comes through.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Make it
I like that.
semi-realistic.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Let
not
it
a
be though.
hard
Change those little
fail.
bird skins and put Chinooks in. I want to see
Yeah,
a Chinook coming in for a landing at the
it's
base.
not a hard fail. It's not something that's going to put your entire faction down for more than an hour because the next shipment came
Just
through
a
just
quick
fine.
spank. Yep.
Yeah, it's just a
Quick
quick
spank of the wrist.
boof.
Hey, you guys didn't get it. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Struggle for all of about 30 minutes. You
yeah,
can't
Yeah.
buy anything that you need. You got to
yeah.
think about it.
And then, the Lemang Recovery Initiative, they have, our resources for that turn. So they have
The
access to
boost, yeah.
more
Like an
AKs.
extra 200 M4s were
Yeah,
on that or
exactly.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I guess the next question then ties into that is so AI behavior is something that has been addressed a couple times. People are saying that they're acting still very much like robots and so on. And of course, we've all experienced it, the aimbot, to certain degrees. But do you think that adding these kind of changes to make them act more like people would also present not just a challenge overall and engage us overall, but do you think we could also add in something of the nature like, oh, well, the AI shot down that helicopter, like to add in a little bit more that
Of
mixed.
an AI presence.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
figured that would be the story of why it went down. Somebody shot it down.
Okay.
Engine failure. The rebels, got too close to Tiger Bay. Whatever. Now, if they could program it to where like it was a live event in game, and all of your helicopters technically had a chance that if it got shot could go down, that would be cool, but that might be a lot of programming and script hooks and a lot
Yeah.
of things on the back end than just one out of every random spawns crash, kind of like DayZ does with you hear the helicopter crash, it lands somewhere, shit, that's our resources, or oh hot damn, that's Crimson Shield's resources. Maybe they're out there getting it. Maybe no one on the server cares. Maybe no one is going to get it. And three guys walk out there and walk in with a bunch of gear and no fight. It's just, it happens. It's just what's the word I'm thinking of? A live event.
Yeah, like a live event, a random event for the server or for the entirety of the game. Like even if it's just a limited time thing, I think that would be, like, oh well, we're gonna have for this week the community event is gonna be the helicopter thing, or the next week it's hey, food resources are low, so you have to go out and either collect,
Or hunt.
or hunt
Yeah.
or whatever it is exactly. Yeah, that's pretty good.
We don't need like hunting simulator 2027. We like Red Dead has a really good simple hunting mechanic. Like if you hit it to the heart, it dies. If you wound it, you got to track it. But it shouldn't have to turn into an actual hunting game. Like
Yeah.
Breakpoint is a little too easy. You shoot it once, it falls over, and you get the meat. Little too arcadey. I don't need to sit there for 20 minutes and dissect and cut the thing, but I should be able to. If they're having a realistic skeletal system and vital system, it should be easier to port that into animals than it would be to make a different type of, I would think. Put the heart there, put the brain there. These are the weak points. These are the, the soft bleed out points. And they would basically work like unarmored AI.
Yeah, I mean, they would essentially, yeah, unarmored, definitely, but I think it would just be essentially just scaling down the human skeleton and then transforming it to fit that animal. I don't think that would be
Yeah.
ultra complicated, but again, it also kind of depends on what direction they want to go with.
Yeah, and it doesn't even need to be that in depth. It doesn't
Sure.
really need to be like showing you, where you shot it 19 times through the spleen. It just needs to have the brain, the heart. These are the kills. These are the wounds. The lung shots are the bleed out in 20 seconds. It just basic. You shoot it in the ass. Yeah, it'll run off. It'll eventually die, but follow it for 5 minutes. You'll find its corpse. Nothing crazy, but realistic enough that it adds something to the game.
Yeah, some sort of flair that,
Yeah.
whether again it's limited supplies or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not looking for green hell.
No.
Like Sid had said before, alligators in rivers would be, some sort of environmental hazard, animal hazard,
I still support that. Saltwater crocs in here.
Yeah. Maybe a couple, I don't know if leopards or not a cat, but
have it something that
a,
is
a
regional.
Make the jungle
carnivore.
alive.
Yeah.
Make the jungle alive. I'd like to hear bird calls more. I'd like to be deep in the jungle, hear monkeys, like
If
Sid
they
had
really
said
want to be
before.
assholes,
How
put fucking
how
poisonous
cool would it?
snakes.
Yeah, how cool would it be if you're sneaking through the jungle, trying to sneak up on a camp, and some monkey starts screaming out loud because it saw you?
Alerts
Now
Not
the whole
AI.
camp knows.
Yeah, not saying that it happens every time. Not saying that now the new meta would be everybody's just capping monkeys left and right. But give it a chance, or most of them run off. But I don't know how they would. I'm not a programmer, but just more environmental things added to make the world a bit more real.
Yeah, because realism is definitely important, especially in games like this. Like, again, not to the level of like Daisy or Scum or any of the games that survival is the primary aspect, because this is still in fact an extraction shooter. But having just a certain level percentage of what that is, a very low percentage, but have a feature like that in the game, I think would definitely make it feel more lifelike, more realistic.
Yeah, and you're giving people more content to make, because then you got all the YouTubers that play the Tarkov style extraction shooters that return to base every day, and then you got the cool weird guys that live out in the woods and they only live off of what they scavenge, and they got these 14 video long stories of this dude living out in the woods. So just if they gave us more things to play with, and I know that this isn't a role-playing game or anything like that, but if they balanced a little bit of this living world, people could make a lot of content.
Very true. So I guess we'll move on to the next survival aspect of the ideas, and that was dynamic weather.
Yes.
So what I have written here is, how do you think the features would impact gameplay? Well, we already kind of figured, with nighttime, essentially right on the corner, 12 days at the time of this recording, we're already going to have that first time of day challenge. But I think at one point one of you guys had asked about, oh, do you think like thunderstorms could also present a major challenge?
Yes.
So I'd like
thunderstorms would be great.
Yeah, I kind of want to play off of that for just a moment here.
Imagine, just imagine if they could find a severe weather program, because if we're Indo-Pacific, this area is exposed to monsoons. Well, congratulations. They release an event where the island's in a monsoon right now. Go out, deploy, try and get what you can. You're in scavenge mode.
Maybe flood the map a little bit.
Make all those rivers come up a whole lot, and then again. saltwater crocodiles.
Hurricanes, severe storms, that
Yeah.
early morning fog coming in off the
Ooh,
ocean,
you
up
imagine a
through the
mist over the rice
hmm
fields, the
yeah,
rice
as
paddies.
you stand up with your PEC laser and you got your nods on and everything, it could be really cool. I'm an atmospheric guy, so the more things that they add that make the world feel more realistic, I'm going to be more for it.
Make the environment feel alive. Give us
hmm
more. We have the nice little frogs croaking in the background. Give us some animals. Now, I don't see frogs jumping around.
I would also like non-combatant AI people.
Civ?
I want to come up out of a
No.
jungle up on, a
You want
lady
to
and
come
some
up.
kids, out there
Uh,
folding clothes,
you
and then
are
they
the
run off.
last person I would say that with.
I listen
It,
with the aggressor system already, being a major factor. I don't think that's also a good idea because, especially lately, it seems that you're shoot first, ask question second.
I mean,
And
I love it. I love the mindset on it, but I don't think it would be smart because then all of a sudden you're bringing Geneva Convention into this stuff.
yeah,
I
I
like
don't think
it.
they want
Just
to
leave
do.
it with the PMCs and the locals. We got the
the
military
place
or
has
the
already been
opposing.
cleared out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
already
they
been
Yeah,
evacuated.
evacuated.
yeah. I got that. Yeah.
Again, just ground zero. But the weather events, it would be beautiful to have weather events. Let me see more of those cloud actions. Let me see rains in some part, not rain in the other. We're on Unreal Engine 5. Let's show what this thing can do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I do want to say, I really like the little Easter eggs they have through the map, like the shadow over Ban Paw. That's a Lovecraftian horror, book reference.
Right.
I would love if they keep going with the cosmic horror aspect. Doesn't have to be overt in your face, but I really appreciate that undertone of creepiness. And I'm really excited about what the center zone could contain.
Yeah. Because even the book, you see it throughout the different areas of towns and stuff like that. I forget what it was called. I'm looking it up right now. What was it?
The book and game?
Yeah, the book and game. I forget. There's a reference from the book. I don't remember exactly where I saw this on the website, but there is something on the website. It might be Operational Improvements
Yeah.
1. Yeah, here
See,
it
the
is.
Mounds of Madness. That's also a reference.
Yeah, it's the book is Roadside Picnic.
Yeah.
So
That's what
in,
Stalker was made after.
yeah. So I'm not saying necessarily that they had, like you said, like, to go above and beyond with cosmic horror or, abysmal horror levels of, like, oh my God, here comes Cthulhu. Or,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, even if it's something like Aliens, and that's why we have
Yeah.
radiation, because their ships are, nuclear powered ships or whatever.
Deep ones.
Yeah,
Something
deep
under
ones.
the earth.
Yeah, something very unknown to us. Whether it's in
Yeah.
fiction or not, but
And
have something
not
like
to
that.
cut you off, if they wanted to do Lovecraftian cosmic horror properly, it wouldn't be an overt thing. It would be these whispers. It would be these strange symbols and glyphs that we find, these cults, that we realize that most of the guys are part of this weird cult, like in Ban Paw. It kind of hints to that.
Yes.
Maybe later, yeah, getting into the zone to fight deep ones, but I do not think we should ever have to fight anything like any gods. Like that's out of the realm of the game. I think that they're going for.
Yeah, I don't think that we'll be facing up against something like that. Maybe like minion level, like like the grunt level of whatever that presents. I'm not saying like, in Skyrim, how when you went up against what's his face from the Dragonborn DLC, the all-seeing eye, essentially. I'm not even saying like they're physical monsters from that, but like, yeah, like you were saying with the cult, maybe one.
Hermaeus Morris, was that his name?
Yeah, that was his name. Yeah.
Hermes. Hermaeus?
Hermaeus Moore, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not even saying like the physical monsters that you fight in that either, but like, some of the cult
Mhm.
members become possessed by, the thought of whatever this level is, or if it's aliens or whatever it is exactly, having
Yeah.
that, not in your face, but having that a lot more present.
Undertones.
Yeah, undertones, but having it
Yeah.
more present would be something to keep in your back of your mind. Like, okay, as I get
Yeah.
closer to endgame, is this going to become more of a problem? Like, oh my God, I'm at Fort
Mhm.
Nerith and all of a sudden here comes a cultist, like
Mhm.
I don't know what they're going for, but that would
Well,
be my idea.
cultists would be cool. Now, would the cultists be like the silent kin from Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yes. So the way that Tarkov does it is you have your standard, bear and USMC, and then you have your scavs, and then the fourth classification is cultists. So it's a completely separate away
Mm.
from the three primary. So you have your locals as the scavs, and you have the two factions essentially fighting each other. But then there's the cultists who only present themselves during certain situations. So
Yeah.
I could see it
Okay. I
becoming
like it.
more and more of a problem in Endgame, but maybe the occasional encounter with them early on, like,
Yeah.
okay, well, hey, like
Like
there's a
standing
dude.
on the edge of an ocean. The water's kind of lapping your feet, you're not even ankle deep. It's just kind of there letting you know I'm here. And
I'm
then you look
here.
out and you can just see how deep it goes.
Yes.
And maybe they never touch on it. I like mysteries that never really get solved. So like if it's just in game and they allow people to run wild with conspiracy theories and what does it all mean and they never really pin down Cthulhu, Azathoth, or like it's just this thing that's there, which is Lovecraftian horror. That's what it is. It's a beyond our all we get to really deal with is the cults at the top of the iceberg, if you will.
Yes.
Yes, we agree.
Okay. Moving on
Or
from.
Stalker would be cool if they
Yeah.
went with like anomalies and radiation but continue.
Yeah, not to side play that or anything like that, but I wanted to move
Mhm.
on to something a little bit more of a basic portion of the conversation, expanding customizing options. I'm sorry, customization options.
Yes.
So we already have some apparel, if you buy the supporter edition pack, you get that little symbol next to your name and your name's highlighted in yellow. And I'm kind of bored with the symbol and the yellow. I
A
don't
lot
know.
of people have it. You don't really feel special.
Yeah, I mean, you feel special because you're like, I'm supporting them in, the development process and stuff like that. But I would like to be able to customize those just a little bit, have a variety of different, symbols for you to choose from depending on what your factions are, make it a little bit more of a rarity, but also be able to choose like your name color or, you know, maybe some customizing options with like the sunglasses or the helmets or I'm not saying like your shirt or your pants or your boots, but like, some of the add-on
Gear.
items, like, yeah, the actual gear, like, oh, well, this commander vest is blue. I wanted to make it, like a more of a Marpat green or something like that. And what are your thoughts on that?
Adding like a scum style spray paint system or being able to like re-dye things
Yeah,
like
like
Division.
like re-dye things. I'm not saying
Mm,
spray paint because that actually gets very sticky in real life, but
yeah,
all
well,
right, well,
yeah.
maybe we have a physical item in game like different kinds of
What if you
materials.
could throw like you know how we have that special little star next to our names or something like that? What if you got that kind of star across all your uniforms, so this way you knew when you came across it, it's like a fellow supporter or something. But
Yeah,
just to be able to show it off more, well, I don't know because you already got the
Tiger stripe
yeah.
camo.
yeah,
Yeah, and the only thing I really run out of that anyway is the gloves. The gloves are nice on them, and they had the
The,
gray zone patch on the bottom.
what
yeah.
do you guys want to glow? Just
No,
float around the
no.
sky glowing in a T
Give me
pose.
God mode. Give me God mode.
Give me God mode name bot, and I'm good.
Yeah.
Uh, what?
More customization for like guns, gear would be nice. I would really like more. I still would really like the black pajamas from like the Viet Cong. More clothing would be cool. I understand the rank system to unlock clothing, but I would really like to be able to get maybe like inferior clothing
Hmm.
quicker.
Yes.
Like, I could wear this green stuff that I unlock, or I could pick up, black pants. I don't know, because like it's an extraction shooter at the end of the day. We play a lot of Daisy and Scum and a lot of like survival games, so we're always swapping clothes and want it. Do you really want to be in the middle of a battlefield trying to swap pants?
No,
No, you
no.
don't. So I understand what they're trying to do, and while it's a cool idea, just give me more options for gear. Maybe gear accessories. Maybe I could, put a shotgun pouch up on top or something. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, but I would be able to like more custom rifles. I would like to maybe a trader system, maybe a player trader system. Not to the effect of every wrist handguard you get is going to be different because it's a tiered gold, blue, green system, but more options that you could build a custom rifle and there's not just one meta of a rifle.
Have like
You went out,
several
you went out and
metas.
yeah, you went out and found all of this kind of rare purple Parkerized AK equipment and you put it on a rifle and you throw it up in the auction house and somebody buys it. Um, I don't necessarily want rare weapons, but
Well,
I
with
would
the
like to get
variety of
away from the
AKs
meta.
that are coming in and the new handguns, I'm really looking forward to seeing what could happen and the MP5 that they just said one little thing about and never released it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like weapon scopes to work. If it's a Picatinny mount, it should work on damn near whatever.
Yeah. It
I
should.
know we were having some issues with getting scopes on certain mounts and stuff like that, and it kind of seems like there's a NATO thing and there's an AK thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't played around enough with it. I would like more customization for the A for all the rifles.
Yeah, and
Um,
keeping the realistic aspect with that, like yes, like and you in theory throw just any old, you know, uh hollow sight, the EOTech onto a weapon. Yeah.
yeah.
But the other way around, no, like, if you have, a hollow that was built specifically for an AK and not for a NATO based weapon, then yes, you can't just throw that on there. But things like that 34 millimeter rings that you put the scope on, that should in
Hmm.
theory go on almost anything. I'm not saying
Hmm.
everything. Obviously all the long bolt actions, yes, 100%. Maybe even that AK-308, but trying to throw that onto like an M4, why would you really throw it on an M4 unless you were able to complete like a certain um
Build.
build? Yeah, thank you. Like, and okay, well, you can't throw it on M4 with a 16-inch barrel, but you can throw it on with a 20-inch barrel.
If you
It's just,
take the front M-Force gas block off and you don't have any sights in the way.
yes, yes,
Yeah. Yeah, like more customization, I want to get away from the meta. I want to get away from the you need to run M855A1 in the M4 with the 60 round mag and this is it. That's it. That's what you run. I want to get away from that and I want to get it to where people I'm an AK guy. I like AKs. I use AKs. They work really well for me. I want more people to be able to use more weapons. Because if you have a meta and you have stats, there will always, I guess, be a meta.
yeah, unfortunately.
And I mean, if they're going realism, is the 16-inch standard wrist rail better or worse than an M-lock rail? Or is it just a shroud over your barrel so you don't burn your hands? A shroud's a shroud, right?
Shroud is a shroud, yes.
So maybe they should take the stats off. Guns are guns. The gun is the item from which the thing actually leaves. So it really shouldn't be stats on a gun. It should be the bullets. Yeah, maybe rails, hand grips and foregrips will help with like recoil or stamina control, but it shouldn't change your reload speed or the way the gun fires, or maybe a better barrel. Yeah, if you get a good quality barrel, yeah, it'll shoot a little bit straighter.
Yeah,
But
but it shouldn't affect like your reload speed, because that is something that, realistically speaking, is muscle memory, practice, and honestly just the receiver. It has nothing to do
yeah,
with like your barrel or
yeah,
the shroud, or whether or not you have
yeah.
a carry handle on there.
Now, if I got the money, I can go in and I got the levels on the gunny. I should be able to go in and get a faster trigger. Yeah, maybe I lose fully automatic ability, but the faster trigger, cycles at a faster rate and it's semi-automatic, or whatever. More realistic customization. Yeah, you have
Yes.
an M4. Every M4 is the same. Now you want to make that M4 yours, change the lower, change the upper, change the stock. The springs on it. You want it to shoot faster? Yeah, it might not hit harder because you're getting softer springs.
Maybe that
You know,
also has a more negative effect on it as well. Like, okay, well, you're
it would
upgrading
affect that.
to a higher tier part. Okay, now it has a 3% chance or a 4% chance. Keep it low, but have a percentage of a chance where, hey, that can now jam, even though you're using top tier ammunition, top tier
Well, that
magazine
would
and
come with
receiver.
cleanliness.
Yeah,
I think that
Well,
would
we are
come
going
with
to get the
damage to the
durability.
yeah,
true.
damage to the weapon and cleanliness. Now, I don't need to go through a minigame animation in the middle of combat trying to wipe my gun down or pouring gun oil over it every, time we leave base. But keeping it clean, and I think suppressors, if from what I've learned about suppressors, they make the guns very dirty
Yes.
because of all the carbon blowback.
Yeah, the blowback and the buildup inside.
It would be nice if they could make suppressed guns degrade and jam faster because of that.
Again, keeping it maybe a lower percentage, like a 10% chance.
It would build up. If you're single shot, yeah, you can go kind of
Over
wild. But if you're
time, if you
fully
don't clean your
automatic,
weapon.
yeah, if you're running, you're in Tiger Bay running door to door, you're spraying, 7 mags on ammunition. Yeah, your gun is going to jam real quick.
Real quick, versus like
But
you just got there, you go take that first shot. It's a low
yeah,
chance.
and then that would give people the pause to, okay, we're getting closer in, or the surprise has been what's the element of surprise has been blown, so everybody stops and rips their suppressors off because it's let your gun breathe. There's no need for suppressors, and a lot of people just leave them on because there's no negative effects to leaving it on.
Should
And
be.
there should be the game says every move matters. If every move matters, then every choice should matter. Every suppressor, ACOG, everything should matter. And right now, suppressors don't matter. Slap a suppressor on, you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, because I mean, there's been quite a few times where we always ask each other, like, okay, we're going to sawmill to do this or to do that. Okay, suppressed or unsuppressed. And then, after the first
Mhm.
couple kills, all right, well, they clearly know we're here now. Do we still remain suppressed or unsuppressed?
Mhm.
I think it,
Yeah.
right as it stands right now, it doesn't really matter. But like you said, every move matters. Therefore, in the future, it should. Okay, you took those first few shots, instead of running the risk of, the
Jamming
having
later on
jamming,
in the fight.
just go unsuppressed, and it increases the time that you have until it finally will jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
That'd
Okay.
be cool.
Yes. So we already talked about
Any other
durability.
questions?
A couple more. We already talked
Okay.
about durability issues, but a reputation system, something that I was, pondering, especially recently. So
Well, will that come with the aggressive?
yes. So you have the aggressor system, and if you decide to run with, a small squad or something, and nobody takes any hits from each other, nobody gets marked as an aggressor, nobody dies, should there be some sort of reward, as far as
Yes.
like a Chinese social credit kind of score?
So are you talking about um,
So, I,
rotation
so
server or faction or players? Because player, you're gonna have to become somebody. You're gonna have to become a legend if you want players. Now, reputation. Now, if you want faction reputation, isn't that kind of what we're doing with my TV crashed? Isn't that kind of what they're doing with the traders right now?
no,
Well, what I think should happen is, all right, for example, friendly fire is now enabled on PvE since that's what we
Yes.
play. We go play with someone else. Everybody starts off at a perfect 100 score, and it's a little display when you go randomly squad up with somebody. So this way you can see if they are more susceptible to killing teammates or not. With
Like a
this
hero skin or a
aggressive.
bandit skin from DayZ.
No, not even that. Not even that. It's just like almost like what Wolf said, like a fucking Chinese social credit score where you start off with 100. You're a perfect person, but as you start killing people, you kind of lose your credit score. You're not so
A
good of a person.
morality, maybe
sort
not a
That,
social
of.
credit score, maybe more of a morality type thing. Yeah, this dude is this guy. A lot of people die when they go out with this dude. This guy's squeaky clean. I
talk
get that.
juice.
So if we're gonna have the aggressor system, which I understand, I need to check my fire more. I get that. I love
Well,
it.
we all do.
We
I
all
like
do.
I like friendly fire in
We all
games because
do.
it pushes that. Yeah. What would be really cool is off in the swamps. We're talking about POIs. If they could put the aggressor camp out there, it's like a no man's land, kind of like the bandit zones in or like black market zones in DayZ.
I'd like to see a black market and
Absolutely.
But it would
Gray
be
Zone.
for the aggressors. If I chose to be an aggressor and wanted to Ronin or, go rogue and abandon all three factions, aggressor faction or what would you call it?
That'd be cool if it gave you consequences, like, hey, you didn't have access to
Yeah, you can't
Handshake
go
or
in Mithras.
Gunny or
Yeah,
Banshee,
yeah.
but you
And
got
they have their own faction. They have their own people you got to get in with.
yeah.
And because you're an aggressor and they're all the tough, salty spittoon, guys who don't play along with anybody, you got to kind of work your ass off for them. So it's not like I want to go be a rogue because it's fun. It's like a fuck, well, there's still a way up. You can get your reputation back and be, brought back into Mithras, but or Lemang or your faction. But there's this small sub faction where you got to actually really fucking work.
Yeah, so maybe like instead of having a fourth entirely separate faction, every the three that we
Every
have right
rogue.
now, yeah, there's a
Mhm.
rogue
Yes.
room essentially. You guys are just stuffed in. Like these guys are the assholes. They constantly kill people. So they don't have all the privileges that a normal player would have. You're kind of being
Yeah, they don't have
punished.
LZs. They have to walk everywhere. Maybe they can have like bikes or something, but they're out in the swamps. They don't have any LZs. They don't have helicopters. Now it'd be cool if they could like commandeer helicopters or like hop on with you. That would be cool.
Yeah,
Or but maybe they would have access to some high quality shit if they did certain like their missions would be like sneak into Lemang recovery and get this box of supplies or go clear out the village and get supplies there. And then that way, Lemang or Mithras would come in and do their mission. Well, the renegades just came in and cleared everybody out, so now you can't even get your missions done because they just killed everybody and took all the loot, back to them.
yeah. But there may
That would
even
play in with the faction of living out in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, the way I was thinking was, all right, well, you've done something wrong. You were marked as an aggressor. Whether you accidentally killed your teammate or you just shot him once. But having that separate mission where it's okay, in order to have the faith in you brought back, you have to, as a solo, go and do one of those things, and then
Yeah.
not leave it up to the
Buy your way back
entirety
in.
of the faction, but you're invited back in because, hey, as a solo, I went in and I collected those supplies, or I brought, I cleared out that entire area, so now somebody can go in there a little bit easier, and have timers for all that shit or whatever. But that's the direction that I was thinking, was like a redemption. Like, oh my god, I was marked as aggressor completely by mistake. How can I fix that?
I would also like a forgiveness system to come in with the aggressor, like the Vietnam game we were playing the other day.
Yeah.
Because
If you
sometimes
forgive them or
accidents
not,
happen.
yeah.
Sometimes accidents happen. And if, Sid walks backwards into my barrel and takes one to the head, that really necessarily isn't my fault.
Yep. Do I
So I
forgive you or
shouldn't be
not?
marked. Yeah, I shouldn't be marked an aggressor because somebody walked in, flagged themselves.
I'm still not going to forgive you for that.
Now, fair enough.
Well,
But
I
the
think,
point still stands. So a forgiveness system, and now if you repeatedly do it, do like a 3. Like the first time he, forgive or not. Second time, forgive or not. Third time, you're an aggressor. That's it. Because if you hit somebody 3 times, or or like maybe a timed thing, like if you hit somebody 3 times within a certain time period, because like if we're running around, bullets are flying, you catch a stray down it, you were flanking down the street and I'm spraying down the street, and you step out and catch one in the leg just accidentally, and then I hit you again. Yeah, forgive, deny, aggressor, not aggressor. Hit you 3 times, straight aggressor.
Yeah.
You're obviously aiming at him, or you're so bad at shooting, you are an aggressor.
well,
It shouldn't just be one and done.
Well, I think one of the major things, and I'm not saying this to be a negative towards either of you, but the one thing that I learned in basic training was you not only have your situational awareness, but you also have your combat awareness, which is similar.
And that's something
but
I've worked on.
yeah, it's again, it's nothing against you guys. It's just I've had that training. Now, mind you, it's been well over a decade, but maybe some of the terminology has changed, maybe some of the tactics have changed, but the basic way that I was taught was, okay, so if man number 1 is watching the corner, man number 2 goes behind him wide, so he can start watching down the street, so that man number 3 can then do the same thing. Man number 2 gets to the opposite corner, while man number 3, it helps cover, while man number 1 then goes ahead and follows. And they keep doing that. Same thing with room clearing. When man number 1 enters, he chooses a direction. Usually it'll be the complete blind corner. He watches that, and you start scanning the room from left to right, while man number 2 starts scanning right to left, and so on and so forth. And I'm not even saying for anybody that's listening to this, for them to automatically, to know what to do in these situations, but I think it would kind of help if you had a very basic understanding of how to properly clear a room, or how to watch street for enemy contacts, and so on and so forth. A lot of that, I mean, hell, YouTube is like great learning system for a lot of shit. The internet is available, and I'm not saying that I should automatically expect you guys to also like go and research this immediately either, but having a very basic understanding of something like this can help with games like Gray Zone, or Fallujah, or Rising, or Battlefield, or whatever. Just having a basic understanding can definitely help when it comes to preventing an aggressor situation in Gray Zone.
Absolutely.
Yep. Knowing what you're doing out there.
Yeah. All right. So the very last question I wanted to bring up here was, looking at the roadmap, what is the upcoming feature that you are most excited about, and why?
Let me pull it up. Let's see here. I mean, I'm very excited about bug fixes that are coming with this current one coming now. I really like Battleforge just from the name of it. It really, I mean, the picture is a workbench with a half-built gun. So maybe some upgrades are coming. That seems really interesting.
Okay.
Update 0.5, and then update 0.6 is Shadow Strike, and I'm hoping maybe they get their stealth system and maybe their melee down better fixed. I'd also like to be able to swing with weapons, like melee with weapons, or be able to punch. I can fight without a knife. I don't always have to have a knife.
I will say this, not to interrupt you, but killing with a knife currently is
Very hard.
next to impossible. Yes, it's
I've
not
never been
impossible.
able to do it.
No, I've done it once the entire
Once.
time. The 140 some odd hours I have on the game.
Not an easy thing to do at all.
No, not at all. Even with a pistol, that's even harder. But with the rebalance, hopefully we'll see it. Going back to the point though, I'm excited for 1.0. Even though we're not going to see it until 2026, the fact that they just call it Ground Zero, and their little thumbnail of it is it glowing. I want to see it.
Yes.
Shadow Strike might be cool too.
The one thing that I don't know if I misheard this or not while I was watching the stream yesterday, was the roadmap itself as it stands is now out of date. So they said that now that they have hired more staff for the entirety of the team, it can happen quicker. So 1.0, although it could be spring or fall of 2027, still depending on bug fixes and patches and so on, I do believe it is going to come faster. But I don't know. I guess it's still up in the air as far as what exact time frame should we expect. But I agree. I do believe, you know, whenever the full release of the game is coming, it's probably one of the things I am most excited for. I'm not even as excited for GTA 6 or any other game like that, except for this level.
I'm very excited for Gray Zone. I am excited for Grand Theft Auto 6, but that's purely at a single player level. Just a campaign guy. I'm not a day one guy, but I would like to play through the story.
I'm very curious as to what the entire story is behind their
Gray Zone,
their shroud here of mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also very excited for that MP5.
Yes. MP5 me, baby.
Do y'all want to go play Gray Zone now?
Kind of do. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining the roundtable, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming by.
Hey everyone, Justin here again. If you enjoyed the action and want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on my next mission. Click the bell icon to get notified of my latest content. Like the video if you found it thrilling, and drop a comment down below to let me know what your thoughts are, or even share your favorite moment. I'd love hearing from you. And hey, if you know somebody who'd be just as excited about this content, share it with them. Every like, comment, and share helps me bring you more of the content you love. Until next time, stay sharp and game on. Take care.